Being a creative individual in this world will take you far, because creativity is all about solving problems, and this world is full of them. We're never gonna run out of problems, which means people will pay you any amount to solve them. For example, their problem might be that they're lonely, and your music is the solution to their loneliness. Another example is someone wants to take better pictures, but they don't want to buy a camera and they don't want to learn how to use it. So you can provide them LUTs and filters to make their phone quality look professional. Here you're solving the problem of them wasting money buying a new camera and wasting time trying to learn it. And those are only two examples of how creativity can solve problems. The opportunities are endless. However, that's where things get a little tricky. While creativity can help you solve problems, overdoing it and being too creative can cause more problems and hurt your process and career. The first way being too creative hurts your creative career is when you give yourself too many creative options. And this can be destructive to your process because it makes you overthink and even paralyzes you from creating anything. I mean, I've been there so many times you think I would have learned by now, but I still give myself too many options. I ask myself, should I use this lens? It's smaller, lighter, more compact, but it's not as good quality. Or should I use this lens? It's better quality, but it's bigger and heavier. And while all those questions are running through my head, I end up not creating anything. I know you've been there too, trying to find the perfect sound when you have hundreds of drum kits, or trying to find the right color palette when color options are endless. The second way being too creative hurts your creative career is by confusing your audience. And I know this is gonna sound wrong, but it's true. You're being too artistic. You're thinking too far out of that box. You're doing something that's never been done before. And I applaud you. However, you have to think about your audience as well. I mean, you want to turn this into a career, right? You need their support. You can't be out there confusing them, making something they don't understand. Like they say, when you confuse, you lose. When you look at the most successful artists, they usually aren't the most talented. The most successful artists are those who can simplify their art so that people can understand it. Simplifying your creativity from your art to your marketing will be the key to your success. So here's one way that you can simplify your process so you can make art that people love and share. Place limitations on your creativity. Contrary to popular belief, limitations aren't prisons. They're actually boundaries that help you build on what's already there, instead of trying to make something completely new that people won't understand. As the book Steal Like an Artist says, nothing is really original. All new ideas are built off older ideas. And this is actually the smartest way to create, because you take that pressure off of yourself of making something completely new. And you also have a starting point that people already love. And the best way to accomplish this is with Virgil Abloh's 3% approach.
Then I have my sort of like 3% approach. Right now, I'm only interested in editing something 3% from its original form. I found that things are intriguing to me when they're like slightly edited, like these shoes.
Like he said, you can make something new by only changing a process, a product, a perspective, etc. by only 3%. You only have to slightly edit an existing project to make something new. I mean, when you look at his past projects, from the Pyrex flannel to the Yeezus cover to the Air Jordans, there's nothing really groundbreaking about them, but they work. People will pay hundreds and even thousands of dollars to buy them, but why do they work? The first reason is that it's simple. By limiting yourself to only changing 3%, you keep most of the original project intact, which means you already have people's attention. If you were to add more and more, you would confuse them and they would lose interest. I mean, our brains are lazy. We don't like to try to figure things out. So we'll just ignore whatever we don't understand. And the reality is, adding more is easy. The hard part is taking something complex and making it so simple that everyone can understand it.
It surprisingly takes less for a brand concept. The less it is, the stronger it is. The more focused, when your brain starts drawing parallels between, say, like Olympics, Nintendo, and anime, then it can start to get a little bit like fuzzy as to like what does the brand really mean.
The second reason it works is because it's familiar. Familiarity brings us comfort. If you were placed in a completely new scenario, you'd be overwhelmed and on edge. And that's not how you want to make your fans feel, because this will push them away. So by only working within that 3%, you can experiment all you want, which makes it brand new and unique. However, that other 97% is still familiar. So people will be comfortable with your art despite your experimentation.
essentially, I got asked to do another Air Force One. This is like a new one. But I was only interested in restraining myself and only editing it 3%, because I don't want another shoe. I want to see something that makes me recognize the shoe that I already have.
And the reason you need your art to be simple and familiar is so that it's easy to digest and understand. And when people understand it, they not only like it, but they share it, taking care of the marketing for you. The success of your creative career will be based on whether people embrace and adopt your ideas. So make it easy and clear for them to consume. Limitations provide direction. It gives you a starting point so you don't waste too much of your creative energy. You just build off of what's already there. It helps you do less, which makes your ideas easier to understand and easier to communicate. Because if it's too creative, it's too complex, and it won't be understandable to many. So if your goal is to turn your art into a career, don't forget about your audience. Make sure they understand everything you do by keeping it simple and familiar, and they'll help you grow. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to make art or die.